theology needs to be taught in a beautiful space. You know, it raises the spirit.
I think it's a good place for theology to kind of be in touch with the world as it is. The whole world is present here, you could say. The whole world turns up in Toronto, and that's good for us, for the way we do theology.
What's happening in Toronto is just like a microcosm. It's affected by all our intertwined relationships with the whole world. And so I think that's what brings something special to Regis. It's that awareness that we're intertwined with one another. And so our theology has to speak to everyone.
The students are here not because they have to be, not even to have a career, but most of them are here for vocational reasons. They feel called to mission, or they feel called to theology. And there's nothing more exciting for a teacher than to have committed students.
When you walk through Regis, you're not walking into an institutional building. You're walking into a very well-preserved home. And right there, the environment of a sense of home invites a very different learning, more comfortable, more reflective, contemplative environment for people.
This building, I think, really helps stimulate and promote ideas because there's a warmth, there's a beauty, and there's an immediacy to its location in the heart of the university and in the city.
I think because we're Jesuit, we're international automatically. I mean, you probably know the first Jesuits were all foreigners in Paris. We've been international from the beginning of the Society of Jesus in the 16th century, and we certainly are here. Our connection with Jesuit institutions and so on elsewhere is our greatest strength in many ways. We're part of the worldwide Jesuit network. That means a whole lot. I mean, it's absolutely central to who we are.
Students have the opportunity to take courses from professors of other faith traditions and in institutions that have other ecclesial affiliations. So that enriches theological education today.
Regis is part of TST Toronto School of Theology, which has 7 colleges, like 4 Protestant and 3 Catholic. And I said, wow, that is something amazing. I had to learn, as I said, to all the Christian tradition and embrace them, not solamente learn about them and open to them. So as a Catholic and as a Jesuit, as someone who will be ordained a priest soon, and then being open to that, knowing about all the Christian tradition was something that was one of the most important things in my formation as an MDiv student, because now we can have dialogue, because ecumenical dialogue is about understanding, is about knowing. So we can't really approach this dialogue without having knowledge about our brothers and sisters from other Christian tradition.
Learning all these new things, you're really undergoing this kind of conversion at a constant rate. And so it's challenging because you're constantly being challenged to think of alternative ways and challenged to think, oh, but what about this scenario? What about that, right?
The Ignatian tradition here at Regis College really prepares people for that kind of interrelationality with knowledge, with science, and with the world, because we prioritize discernment. We don't come into a conversation with a prescriptive answer. No, we come into a conversation and we are co-partners, and what we bring is a quality of conversation. So at Regis, we come from a very strong tradition in the church of finding God in all things. And what makes that actually real is our international family, because we just don't make and find God in the immediate things of our dwelling, but because of our international global outreach, we also want to inquire and to recognize that God exists everywhere. And that's one of the advantages of studying theology at Regis. It's that first principle of finding God in all things, and then the institutional networks to be able to realize that globally. Theology today prepares students not just for work within the church, but also for future professional work. A degree in theology can prepare people to think critically, to argue and to communicate, and those are most necessary skills for whatever line of profession we go into afterwards. The degrees from Regis through the University of Toronto are globally ranked in the top 20 in the world, and they do get you into such older institutions as Oxford and elsewhere. So we are formed very well here.
We have not only what we call the civil faculty, but an ecclesiastical faculty that gives ecclesiastical degrees that ultimately are authorized by the Holy See. It keeps us on our toes. We can't slack off. You know, if that's what we want to give University of Toronto degrees, we better step up to the plate, you know.
The University of Toronto is one of the top libraries in the world. And so, again, what we are together is more than what we are as a single institution. So it's not just the Regis Library collection, but the whole University of Toronto. It's not just the faculty at Regis, but it's the faculty throughout the Toronto School of Theology. So we multiply our assets here at Regis, and that enriches the students.
Regis has so many top scholars here who can really mentor their students. They're willing to journey with us in our deep questions. You know, they're constantly challenging us to think harder about those questions, but also provide us with alternative perspectives.
The professors, they are amazing, very open to dialogue, to questions, and then I was not afraid to share my understanding about things, and then Regis College is very open in this sense.
When students come here, what I think they like about it is that there's a sense of a journey. Again, it's not a mechanical educational experience, it's a journey. And there's a lot of interaction and support from people. There's student council, there's our alumni, we have guests, students are involved, so there's a sense of not just the academic rigor, but there's also the opportunity to be invited to participate, invited to share their thoughts and their talents with us here. So there's a sense of deepening their experience here with the umbrella of Ignatian spirituality.
Teachers are not the only formators of students. Students are formators of students. And it's the outside of class experience that is very important. And I think that would be very rich here. The very fact that we're in such a large cosmopolitan city offers many possibilities. Students find placements in many of the parishes, and there's many initiatives for immigrants, for refugees here in the city that also offer opportunities.
Regis is really unique because it's not just the academics, but it's the pastoral. It's not just sort of the world of academia, but it's chaplaincy, it's ministry, but it's also touching the core of people in the most desolate places of our city. We have graduates that will go there, and I'm very proud of that.
compassion for others, including the most vulnerable, I think is part of who we are and is part of our Jesuit mission. You know, we have out front a sculpture of the homeless Jesus. That sends a message that's right at the entrance to the college, that sort of Jesus is found among the homeless and among the poor and the most marginalized, not just in the books in the library. I think that's very important.
Ignatian spirituality is very important for the college. And then, as you know, Ignatian spirituality will help you really to embrace, to understand today's challenges so that we can solve some issues in our society. For example, climate change and migration. And then the approaches, although you study in theology, is really important to facing realities, because Ignatius of Loyola, in his way of proceeding and the way he wants his Jesuit or other people to be, will help us to be open to reality and to understand reality, and so that we can solve some difficult issues in our society.
It's very much a journey of transformation, of growth, and challenging beliefs, challenging assumptions, but always leaving more informed, deeper in faith, and a connection, a relational connection to the college.
Regis, it's like coming home, you know, like there's that sense of relief that happens when you come through the doors. It's like, I'm home kind of thing. And I don't know, like it makes me very happy and makes me very comfortable.
You come to the family, which is Regis College, and then you are ready to go out to really participate in the transformation of our society.
Think seriously about Regis. Pick up the phone or send an email, make a connection with us, and to explore this institution as a real place of advantage for studying theology, not just because of it being part of the University of Toronto or its location in the city, but for the kind of quality of learning that we prioritize here.